Documents, official reports, and other published accounts. Some names have been changed and composite characters used.
Pretty good fly in there.
Is that Dad?
Probably.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I married a pilot.
Why marry one when you can be one?
What's up?
I'm up.
Whoa, roller heads are so tough.
Yeah? Wood's cold and wet and hangs from a string. A jet jack that's being hoisted out of the ocean by a helo pilot.
Oh.
Catch you later.
Nice hair, Coughlin.
Hey, Stick. Nothing like a flight helmet to give you a bad hair day. Thanks. Hey, Stick. I'm moving up.
What?
Hey,
Admiral's Day.
come on, not even a congratulations? This is it. First you're a loop, next thing you know, you're a genuine 4-star admiral.
Right. A genuine 4-star suck-up.
Hey, be nice, just because you're not a political animal.
Political, no. Animal, maybe. Cookies.
Cookies
I
for
can't
Mom?
believe it. Hey! Well, I'll be flying more than you anyway.
So, you do what you have to do. I want it all. I want to command my own squadron, fly in combat, end up in Washington with a chest full of ribbons.
Yeah, after you get the grease out from underneath your fingernails, maybe.
Remember the last change of command? All those admirals? My dad used to work for some of those guys. When I think about being one, it gives me goosebumps.
See, that's the difference between you and me. I don't think warriors get goosebumps.
But they'll make an exception in your case, I'm sure.
Hey, I never wanted to be an exception.
How about exceptional? You're warrior class. I always knew that.
Hey, don't go getting all mushy on me, Lieutenant Chandler.
It's too late, Admiral Coughlin. yeah.
You've been to sea?
12 months and 2 consecutive deployments in Westpac, sir. Flying H-2 ASW helicopters, maintenance and operations officer for my detachment.
Really?
We're everywhere these days, sir.
All right.
Women. I hope it's not a problem for you, my being one.
I didn't pick you, Lieutenant, but there's no reason I wouldn't. Your fitness reports are first rate. Unequivocally the finest, most productive ensign I've had the pleasure of working with. Strongly recommended for accelerated promotion. Command ready. That's very impressive for a woman. But if you want my opinion about women in the Navy, Lieutenant, there are certain differences the feminists choose to ignore.
I agree totally, sir. I don't consider myself equal to a man. For one thing, my relief tube is shorter.
You're kind of cocky, aren't you?
How about we use a non-gender specific term, sir? Wouldn't want to upset those feminists.
Oh, no, we wouldn't. Well, first order of business. We're going to Tailhook, Lieutenant.
$5 says I crossed that line before you.
$10 says I kick your butt.
Oh, you beat my dust. Come on, baby, down stretch.
There ain't no public displays of affection.
Hey, do anything this weekend?
Yeah, I'm taking a trip with my new admiral.
Snyder? Yours aide? That's great.
Thanks. I wasn't sure how that was going to work out. Female admiral's aide, call security. But I'm staying and we're going to Tailhook.
Tailhook? Don't get too excited.
Why not? Everyone's going to be there. CNO, Admiral Kelso, Second Nav Garrett. I mean, if I'm going to get my stars, I got to start meeting some of these people.
It's just one big drunken weekend.
Oh, come on, with all that brass, it can't be bad, right?
I'm not kidding. Just watch out for yourself.
I can take care of myself. Take care of you, too.
Oh. Is that good? Is that good for you?
Yeah. You didn't have any coffee this morning, did you? 2 milligrams per pound of body weight increases endurance about 16%.
Hey, no public displays of affection. Maybe we should get together tonight. I promise you I'll drink a lot of coffee.
Not until I get back from Tailhook and you get back from Jacksonville. And then I promise we'll have a private display of affection.
Oh!
It's time gun season again in Las Vegas as the city hosts the 1991 Tailhook Association's 35th Symposium. Over 4,000 U.S. Navy and Marine Corps aviation officers are registered for the convention, as well as some 30 admirals. These guys really know how to have a good time, and it's especially deserved this year after their stunning victory in the Gulf War.
We're the best! Yes, we're the best! When you go to war, you got to win. Who are you going to call?
Yes! Las Vegas loves the Navy. And it's
We're from Missouri, and this is going to be our second Tailhook because these are the only real men left in America.
Sir? Sorry to interrupt. I just want to remind you that the flag panel is at 1435.
Right, thank you. You go on ahead, Lieutenant. I'll meet you there.
Okay.
Hey, Sandy.
Oh, how you doing? You're here too.
Yeah, I got in yesterday.
Great. Is this place a zoo or what?
Yep.
I think half the aviation community's here.
Oh, most of the brass, that's for sure.
Hey, sweetheart.
Hooker. No kidding. This town is crawling with them.
Well, the fleet's in. Keep your aviator wings on. You going to the flag panel?
I don't know. Should I?
Well, hey, it's a free exchange of fresh and innovative ideas between junior officers and Navy leaders.
Right. Can't miss that.
The decision has been made to cease production of the F-14 Tomcat aircraft. This is in keeping with the Navy's recent budgetary constraints at over $40 million a copy.
Excuse me, sir. With all due respect, is there a replacement for the F-14? Or does that mean there will be fewer
Sandy, is
operations?
Admiral Kelso over there?
Which means fewer
I don't know. I guess the CNO is here to see how the other half lives.
Even a submariner has to come up for air sometime.
All right. Next question, please.
Admiral Dunleavy, sir, when are women going to start flying in combat?
Oh, boy. Well, that's a damn good question. If Congress has its way, you may not have to wait long. The Senate just voted 96-3 to allow it. One fellow abstained. We've got to find out who he is. If the American people feel that a woman should fly in combat, we have a plan, and we will execute it.
Sir, but when do you think that will be?
I don't want women in my squadron. Anybody wanted to research this? So what are you saying? I gotta give up my stateroom to a woman?
When are they going to get over it? It wasn't everyone. What a bunch of Fred Flintstones.
Women in combat. Oh, boy.
You know what? We're here to stay, and they can't stand it, and all they can do is bitch about it. I'm not going to let it get to me. I'm going to go change for that banquet.
This is Tailhook's 35th annual symposium, and not only is it a time for us to get together, but it provides a unique professional exchange between leadership and industry and the largest assembled group of rank-and-file Navy aviators. For instance, yesterday the presentations had a strong emphasis on the lessons learned during Desert Storm operations and the effectiveness we had in dismembering the Iraqi command and control system.
Hey, it's a girl. Let's go. Oh, Kaufman's a girl.
Hey, hotshot. What's happening?
Party, party, party.
Right. Hey, Stick.
They let you in?
Yeah. How's it going? This is Boomer and Hawk.
Hey, how you doing?
We survived Westpac together.
So, where you guys headed? Second half.
Now, maybe it's a tough time to sell something on Sandra.
Secretary of the Navy. Reported.
The global positioning system proved itself during the Gulf War. And if you look at our...
Excuse me. Sir, this is my aide, Lieutenant Paula Coughlin. Lieutenant Coughlin, this is Lawrence Garrett, Secretary of the Navy.
An honor, sir.
Lieutenant Coughlin, I've heard good things about you.
Thank you, sir.
Now, think, sir, if you just take a look at some of those things, you'll find that.
Thank you, sir. He's heard good things about me.
Yeah, he says that about everyone. See you later.
Third deck?
Third deck.
Thank you, Captain Ludwig. Thank you. Admiral Kelso, distinguished flag officers and guests, ladies and gentlemen, tailhookers. It is an honor and a privilege for me to be here tonight. I want to emphasize a point. Naval aviation today is better than it's ever been in its entire history. And I was thinking about all that JO assertiveness, and that those were the young men that launched themselves from aircraft carriers in the middle of the night and flew right into the teeth of the most concentrated anti-aircraft defenses in the world. They are the operators. They are the warriors, the ones who've been eyeball to eyeball with the enemy and have consistently come back winners. There are many among them who will lead our Navy and the Marine Corps into the future. So, do I mind an afternoon of JO impertinence? No. I happen to believe it is what makes us great. There is one thing that will never change, and that is the spirit of those souls who have chosen to fly from carrier decks, who knowingly and deliberately accept incalculable risks for the sake of a higher good. It is that ensures the traditions of naval air will never die. And as all of those in leadership roles in Navy aviation continue to fight, we ask each of you to check your six and keep the meatball in the middle. Thank you very much.
Third floor?
That's where the parties are, right?
Well, that depends on your definition of party.
Is it true that there's guys from Top Gun in the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Hi there. Hey, all right. How are you guys?
Hey, you guys, I'm gonna go back and change.
Hi there. Welcome to the party.
Well, thank you.
Look at the peaches and cream.
I'm Larissa, and this is Tawny. Hi.
Clear deck!
So are you guys like Top Guns? I mean, I saw the movie. I love Tom Cruise.
$5 he starts pitching about that global positioning system.
Let's take that bet. Gentlemen, our aviators got to carry global positioning system.
Look at this guy.
Now, watch out. Here comes Rex.
Let's get down there. All right, let's go.
You gotta, upstairs, you gotta do something. They're on the third floor.
Look what they did to us, okay? You gotta call somebody. You can call the police.
We got another one. Clear, Jack. Hey, get your hands up.
They're getting out of hand.
I wonder what happened to Paula.
Watch it.
Run back to your daddy. Right.
Somebody help me!
Paula, that sounds pretty bad. If I'd seen him doing that to you, somebody'd pay. Oh, yeah, it was getting pretty rowdy up there, but we never thought they'd,
Hit on another officer?
Didn't they know that you were a pilot?
They knew.
You okay?
Morning, Admiral. Morning. I went on last night, Lieutenant. You look a little green around the edges. You okay?
I'm fine. Except for the mauling I took on the third deck last night from a bunch of fighter pukes.
That's Tailhook. What the hell else could you expect on the third floor this weekend?
Paula, you gotta do something. Get a complaint going with him.
Yeah, hey, Toby, good hit, buddy. Boy, these coals are getting ready. Is everybody ready to eat?
And then she asked me whether you had settled down on that little smile of hers. And I said, of course she was settled down. I mean, as settled down as anyone could be in the Navy. And I told her that when my daughter gets her first command, I'm going to be as proud of her as if she had quadruplets. So you want to tell me what's wrong?
How's that salad coming?
So good, you're going to turn into a vegetarian.
Yeah, fat chance. Not this meat eater. Hey, how was Tailhook? Don't tell me you went to symposiums all weekend. I bet it got pretty rowdy. Why else would they have a convention in Las Vegas, of all places? How you getting along with that new admiral? You find out what a prize you are yet?
I have to let him know.
What's happening?
Mom, I can handle it.
There they are. What's a burger without a bun? All right, I'm putting them on. How do you want them? You want them black or blue or
So you want to tell me what's happening?
Tailhook. I went to this party.
Party, huh?
Tried to fight him off, but there were too many of them.
What?
Dozens, maybe more. Guys throwing me from one to the other. Grabbing me, grabbing my breasts, hands under my clothes. I've never been so scared in my life, Mom. Thought they were gonna rape me. I had to kick my way out.
Were they officers?
Jet jocks, top guns, officers. I mean, if I'd been in a biker bar, maybe I should have known. But this was Tailhook. And these guys are supposed to be my brothers.
Did they know who you were?
Yeah. Admiral's aide. Seemed to give him an extra kick.
You know this is an assault. Did you report it to your admiral?
Yeah.
The authorities?
Come on, Mom. This is the Navy. The Navy polices itself, and you keep your mouth shut.
Paula! Rita! Come on, how do you want your burgers? You gonna join us out here or not?
Mom, Dad's always been so proud of me. I can't tell him this.
Friday at 3. You're looking forward to it. Ah, you got it. You too. Okay.
Sir, this is your schedule for next week. It's as discussed, except your meeting on Tuesday with Admiral Kinney.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Sir, regarding Tailhook,
Yes?
about what happened to me on the third deck?
Oh, that. Well, the boys were letting off a little steam, you know.
Sir, these weren't boys. These were junior officers, Navy pilots, and they assaulted me.
You don't want to go overboard on a little rowdy behavior, do you, Lieutenant?
Sir, I'm not trying to start a witch hunt. I just think they should be held accountable. I don't want this to happen again, not to me, not to any other female officer.
What do you want me to do?
I think there should be a complaint, an official complaint. And it might help if you could write a letter, sir.
Okay. I'll look into it.
Thank you, sir.
Are you a scorned woman? Now.
So you got caught in the gauntlet. The gauntlet? You mean what I went through's got a name?
What I hear. So what? You're a woman. It goes with the territory.
Being a woman in the Navy means working twice as hard, not getting assaulted.
You want to keep your job, you keep your mouth shut. That's what Anita Hill did.
Yeah, she's talking now.
Yeah, and look where it's getting her. No one believes her. She's marked for life. That's what happens to whistleblowers.
I already told Snyder.
You did what? Why?
Not that he seemed to care.
Paula, this could ruin you. And it doesn't make it any easier on any of us. This is macho heaven. It does not pay to keep reminding these guys that we're different.
I never asked to be treated different, but that's what happened. I mean, was that the message, that no matter how hard we try to fit in, all we are is a piece of tail?
The attention that I'm getting, I would not lie.
You're smoking again.
Get attention.
Somebody shut her up.
Can be a hero in the civil rights movement.
Rocket! You're back!
Those parties have been like atop this contest for years. I told you.
Told me what? You knew this was going to happen?
Well, nothing like what you're telling me now. What were you wearing?
Not you two.
I meant, were you wearing your uniform?
Those guys assaulted me. I'm a naval aviator, an admiral's aide. It's like they assaulted the old man himself. Though he doesn't see it that way.
Well, maybe he does. What has Snyder done about it?
Said he was going to do something that was weeks ago. I keep mentioning it to him, and he hasn't even written a letter to report what happened.
You will.
When? If he doesn't write a letter, I'm going to do it myself.
You mean go over his head?
Well, what am I supposed to do? Pretend like this didn't happen? Sir.
Afternoon, Lieutenant.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I've written a letter to Admiral Dunleavy, and I'd like you to take a look at it.
Thanks.
Does Admiral Snyder know about this?
Yes, sir. He wrote a letter himself, but I told him it was important that it be in my own words. I think he prefers I not do it this way.
I can understand why.
Sir, all I ask is that the men that did this be held accountable.
I'll take care of it.
Thank you, sir.
Signed very respectfully, Paula A. Coughlin, Lieutenant, U.S. Navy.
This is outrageous. Not just the incident, but the lack of command follow-up.
It's quite a story, sir, if what she says is true.
Why did this take so long to get to me? Action has already been taken to appease 2 young female civilians who were molested in the hallway. Molested? Appease? I'm quoting an admiral in the United States Navy here. I want the Naval Investigative Service to get right on this, Mac.
Yes, sir. Sir, it won't be easy. We have to gather evidence. The officers from Tailhook are scattered all over the globe.
I'm aware of that.
And as you know, sir, they are trained to hang tough.
Tell them to cooperate.
Well, the timing's also not very good, what with the Thomas Hill testimony going on.
This is unacceptable behavior by any standards.
Frank, I've been a prosecutor for a lot of years. We both know the honor code works both ways. Foremost is loyalty to fellow aviators. This one could have a strong undertow.
I'm proud of our young men and what they did in the Gulf. So is the whole country. But this is not the Dark Ages. I get right on it, Mac.
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant Coughlin, you'll be needed to assist in the investigation. You have an administrative transfer to Washington.
I'm sorry to have to leave Pax River, sir. Will I still be able to get my flight hours?
Well, I don't think you're going to have time while this is going on.
I see.
It's Navy policy, Lieutenant.
But, sir, as an aide, I'm only doing proficiency flying. Couldn't I at least keep up my training so I could stay current?
Lieutenant, there are only so many flying billets to go around. Unfortunately, this isn't one of them. But I'm sure you'll be back here soon, when this investigation is all wrapped up.
Sure hope so, sir.
Carry on.
Sexual assault, huh? How you gonna keep this one quiet, huh? What? Sexual assault, is that what you're gonna call it?
I call it like I see it!
Yeah, well, you saw it wrong. Bad one, Coughlin.
How do you know?
All I know is you broke ranks and you turned on your fellow officers. That's it.
They turned on me!
Because you got a little pat on the rear end? Huh? You gonna go run to daddy now? Women want to be warriors.
Dick, you know me! I didn't want this!
Sir, I hope my next promotion don't depend on this Paula Coughlin thing. It's like leaving me alone in a room with a loaded gun.
Gentlemen, nobody's going to blame you if you don't have much luck. All the witnesses are jet jocks. They all look alike. Same height, no glasses. They were all drunk. These men count on each other. Their lives depend on it. They're not going to sell each other out. Hell, they don't even think what they did is a crime.
Excuse me. Room 207? I'm kind of new here, and I haven't got time.
Paula Coughlin?
Yeah.
Your office is over here. I'm Lieutenant Commander Evans. I'll be acting as your liaison officer. We've been getting hundreds of calls from the media requesting interviews with you. We're trying to keep your identity under wraps, but it's not so easy with Navy personnel.
I noticed.
There are a lot of hard feelings out there. People think this sort of thing should have been dealt with quietly, one-on-one.
One-on-one, I could have handled. This was 20-on-1. The Navy's got a problem. I'm just gonna fix it. I mean, it's simple. If I didn't believe that, I wouldn't be here. In this, lovely place.
The Naval Investigative Service want to see you at 1700 hours.
Remember anyone in particular?
There are a lot of guys in the gauntlet, at least 100.
Did you know any of them?
I knew they were pilots. Mostly fighter types. I'm a helo pilot, so we tend not to know each other. Jet jocks think we're scum. Okay scum, but scum.
Physical characteristics.
Most of them were about 6 foot, 180 pounds, something. Same haircut.
How about eyeglasses?
Fighter pilots don't wear glasses. They all look pretty much the same. I suppose that doesn't help much.
How about racial characteristics? Any blacks, Asians, Hispanics?
And there were quite a few. There was one guy I remember. He shoved his hands down my top. I went into a crouch and bit his arms. He was black, wide-set eyes. He was wearing shorts and a T-shirt, orange, burnt orange.
Good. Good girl.
All right. Let's get you set up with a police composite artist, and we'll see what this fella looks like.
Well, what about the other guys?
Patience, Lieutenant. We'll get to him.
Take the composite around to every Marine, Navy base, every ship. You get this one guy, the rest will follow.
You know, I hope when this gets back to the guys that were at Tailhook that they'll come forward and identify themselves.
Lieutenant Glenn? SB and NIS like to ask you some questions about Tailhook. Did you observe any inappropriate behavior?
It was appropriate for a party.
Uh-huh. You recognize this man?
Cute. Not my type.
It was a party. A lot of drinking, a lot of laughs. So let me get this straight. Is this woman complaining about being groped or about not being groped?
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Women assaulted a Tailhook. Hey, it was the opposite, man. Women see a Top Gun, they think Tom Cruise and go crazy. I'm the one who should be charging assault.
No woman is going to come to the third deck without knowing what's going on up there. What goes on up there?
Drinking, dirty movies, strippers, hookers. This is Vegas. This is a party. And, we did earn the right to party. You, heard of the Gulf War?
Yeah, I have. Well, I guess that's it. I'd like a mugshot.
Oh, you would, I wouldn't.
Any reason why not?
Camera shy. But, you could do one of these neat little drawings of me. Make a nice gift for my wife.
Nobody saw anything.
Maybe there was nothing to see.
Oh, Mac, I think you know Barbara Pope, Assistant Secretary of the Navy.
Yes, sir. Barbara.
Now, with this thing getting to be public knowledge, we need all the help we can get. It's especially appropriate that we have a woman on this, Barbara.
I've worked a long time to get people to forget that, Frank.
You've read what we have so far?
Yes, I have. And it didn't take too long, either. You have done, several hundred interviews, and not a soul saw the assault on Paula Coughlin.
57 officers described some kind of gauntlet, but none could say who was in it.
They're protecting each other. This is the fraternity closing ranks. Well, we've got to get these men talking. What about their commanding officers?
That would be undue command influence, Barbara. It could taint witnesses and jeopardize future prosecutions.
Putting pressure on COs is not part of my job. My men are trying to solve a crime, that's it.
Yes, but this isn't just a crime. This is an attitude. Gentlemen, we are going to start taking these attacks on women seriously right now. We had that incident with the female midshipman being handcuffed to a urinal. All that trouble down in Orlando. And then these guys just go and close ranks.
We just had a break, sir. This is a composite drawing of Lieutenant Coughlin's principal attacker. And someone's just recognized him. Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir, I have it.
Does it look like Talmadge to you?
Captain Grant Talmadge of the Rhino Squadron?
That's the one.
Talmadge, not even close. He's a friend of mine. I happen to know he wasn't even at Tailhook this year.
You wasn't even at Tailhook? No thanks anyway.
Why do I have to look through these yearbooks?
Because we thought you might be able to pick out your assailant that way.
Well, what about the composite?
Nobody has been able to match it with anyone, so we are right back. Square one. Come on, go ahead. Just take your time.
This one. He's close.
This one?
Yeah, I mean, if it's not him, it could be his brother.
Good. Well, I knew you could do it. So, let's see who your mystery man is, shall we? Okay. Looks like we got something to celebrate.
Back off, okay?
Hey,
You just
hey.
back off. You better start thinking with your head, not your zipper.
What? Come on, what is it with you? Hey, Paula, come on, I'm just trying to be helpful.
So, now it's Arch Cantwell who's harassing you, huh?
Listen, I don't scream harassment every time the guy smiles at me.
I'll just get his side of the story, shall
You
I?
do that.
You don't like me, do you? This investigation? Or maybe you don't believe this really happened.
I only have your word to prove it did.
What are you talking about, only my word? You've been investigating this for months.
Nobody saw you being assaulted in the gauntlet.
No one? Out of all those guys?
Whatever anyone saw was just in good fun.
And you believed him?
I have no evidence that leads me to believe otherwise. And this picture you pulled out turns out to be a guy who was nowhere near Tailhook. Too bad you didn't get raped, Lieutenant. Then we'd have a real case. With another investigator from now on.
What happened to Arch Cantwell?
He's off the case. Might be out of the service due to your complaint. I hope that reassures you. Carl Perkins, this is Lieutenant Paula Coughlin. Lieutenant. Carl has some photographs he'd like to show you.
Yeah, we've gone and pulled the photographs of every minority aviator in the Navy.
And then narrowed them down using your description of your attacker.
This is it? Just more photographs?
Yes, ma'am. At this time.
This is him. This one.
Talmadge. We checked him. I spoke to a member of his squadron and said he wasn't even at Tailhook this year. Photograph shouldn't have been included. She's positive it's him. Yeah. She was positive the last time she picked the wrong guy. Hey, John. Let's do a lineup. At least then we can discount him once and for all. Okay, Carl.
You're kidding me. They're getting back together?
She's crazy about him.
Oh, crazy is right. There is no way he's ever going to set...
Lieutenant Coughlin, so you gonna line him up against the wall and finger the bad guy? See you later, Martin.
Sorry about that. Back there. You know, it's really hard. When I was in Westpac, in some really rough ports, guys from the ship, officers, always make sure I was okay. It's so weird. These are the same guys that have turned their backs on me now.
Paula, off the record, I support what you're doing.
Why don't you try it on the record? Women, we're the worst. We don't want to know about it. Don't want to rock the boat. Keep quiet. And if we all keep quiet, nobody's going to notice we're not one of the guys. Except when it counts.
Right in. Number 4, please. 3. 2. Yes, forward. Lieutenant. Send in the next group, Carl. Lieutenant.
Those guys in there? They love their country. They lay their lives on the line. And they're being treated like criminals.
Lieutenant, you say a crime was committed. This is how we catch the criminals. You want to back out of this? Is that what you're saying?
Why don't the guilty ones come forward and spare the others?
We have another group to look at.
It's number 1.
It's twice she picked him. Well, she can pick him till the cows come home. He wasn't at Tailhook. Captain Talmadge, Ed Bean, Carl Perkins. As you know, we are investigating a complaint of sexual assault. Now, as I understand it, you weren't even at Tailhook.
There might have been some confusion about that, about my not being there.
Let me understand you. Are you saying now that you were at Tailhook?
Yes, sir. How's that, Tailhook? I never said I wasn't.
No. You didn't. We've been had. 2 months we wasted. 2 months. Go with Talmadge. Search his car, his house, the works. Lieutenant, these guys have been lying to us. And if they're so busy covering up, they got something to hide. Now, I said some pretty harsh things to you. And I think I owe you a sincere apology.
Does this mean you can find them? The guys in the gauntlet?
Lieutenant, I would like nothing better than to bust these guys wide open for you. But truthfully, as they talk, there's not a lot I can do. My daughter, Maddie, 13, wants to be a cop. Why not? Girls can be anything they want these days, huh? What should I tell her?
Tell her to go for it.
There were over 100 men in that gauntlet, and you only have 2 suspects, an African-American and a visiting Australian. What sort of an investigation is this?
It's as good as it gets, considering we didn't have any witnesses.
Our fine young men did not tell everything they know. This is a Navy I don't recognize anymore.
Frank, do you realize that you have officers lying?
That's a pretty strong accusation. Officers can exercise their Fifth Amendment rights of not implicating themselves.
There is a major difference between saying, I don't want to say anything, and saying, I saw nothing.
We have instructions from the Navy Secretary to attach recommendations to this report. Now, if we do everything we have to ensure that this sort of thing never again happens in the United States Navy, I'm sure we can put all this behind us.
That's exactly right, Frank, because this was never just a crime. It's much more complex. It's the whole mindset of the military. It's the cult of the warrior, and that cult, by definition, excludes women. That's the whole problem. And that is something that you just don't get.
No, you don't get it. The problem is men don't want women in the military.
You said it. You finally said it.
Yes, and I'll say it again. The surface force doesn't want them. The submariner force doesn't want them. If you ask the Marines, they don't want them. And if you ask me, I'd rather work with men.
Well, then quit. Quit the Navy, because women are here to stay, and if you and your kind don't like it, it's time to get out.
Mac, Barbara, this isn't helping.
Men and women view sexuality differently. If you can't discuss this kind of thing forthrightly, we're never going to get anywhere.
This isn't going to go away quietly, Frank. This is just the beginning.
Topless women, strippers, and hookers, details of the infamous gauntlet. The NIS report has just been released, and it reads like an X-rated movie.
And in the report, evidence that pilots and officers closed ranks and covered up what they did.
The Naval Inspector General's final report cites a marked absence of moral courage and personal integrity in the aviation community.
What is that? When reviewing the findings of the Navy Inspector General, it is difficult to find words strong enough to express my deep personal and professional disappointment and embarrassment for the conduct that occurred during the Tailhook 91 symposium. I expect the word to go out immediately and unequivocally. All members of the U.S. Navy will conform to standards of behavior which reflect the decency and core values that define our profession. I can promise an overhaul of command climate to support and enforce our long-standing policy of zero tolerance towards sexual harassment. In the words of a former Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Thomas B. Hayward, on the subject of drugs, not on my watch, not on my ship, not in my Navy.
The NIS report shows that despite 1,500 interviews with aviators, only 2 suspects have been named.
No reaction from the female lieutenant whose complaint sparked the inquiry. Her identity continues to remain secret.
Mom?
Paula? Rena, is everything all right?
Been reading about the Tailhook scandal?
This is unbelievable. I'll tell you, in my day, this kind of thing would never have been... Paula? Rena, what's going on? Paula, every time this subject comes up, you walk away from me. Is there something you want to talk about here?
Dad? The woman lieutenant who said she was sexually assaulted. It's me.
The woman they write about here, this happened to you? Oh, why didn't you tell me?
Because I couldn't, Daddy. I was so ashamed. And I didn't want to talk about it. I just want you to be proud of me. And you love the Navy.
I love you.
They said I broke ranks.
Broke ranks? Honey, these are supposed to be officers and gentlemen. They dishonored themselves. You did the right thing.
Remember when I told you I wanted to join the Navy, and you said, as what, a nurse?
I was a dinosaur.
And then you figured I was serious about being a pilot. You told me I was joining the best group of people in the world. I never wanted to disappoint you.
You never did.
Did I?
Oh, it's okay, honey. It's all right.
Mac? Frank, there's something you should know. There's a rumor flying around about the behavior of a top Navy official at Tailhook.
What sort of behavior?
We're talking inappropriate behavior.
Well, who was the top Navy official?
The Secretary of the Navy. We have a statement from an individual who places the Navy Secretary in the rowdiest of the Tailhook party suites.
Well, I didn't see anything about this in the NIS report.
Well, that's because it's, not in there.
So, what happened?
Call it an omission. Error in judgment. You can call it the you-know-what hitting the fan. We had an agent who didn't think it was necessary to include the information on Garrett.
Didn't think it was necessary, huh?
The media's gonna have a field day. And when this is over, I'm gonna have to take up golf. Isn't that what you're supposed to do when you retire?
Boy, we've been around a long time, Mac. This world has become a different place.
Yes, sir. I guess I can kiss that second star goodbye.
Stunning news today from sources inside the Navy. A Navy officer made a statement months ago, placing a top Navy official in a Tailhook hospitality suite where the worst excesses took place. Remarkably, that statement does not appear in the NIS report. And the speculation here today is that this information was covered up to protect none other than Lawrence Garrett, the Secretary of the Navy. And if Navy admirals were hoping to keep Tailhook off their radar screens, they're in for a big surprise.
Garrett. Did you see him there, Paula?
Not in the hallway. I think that if he'd seen what happened to me in the gauntlet, he would have stopped it. This is all wrong. Garrett didn't assault anybody, and he's taking all the flack for it. And nobody's talking about what really happened to Tailhook.
Then you talk about it. You tell him your story.
Go public? No, I wouldn't do that. Give them a chance to get the
They've
bad
already
guys.
had a chance. They're not interested in finding the guilty people. They just want to put on a big show.
Rena, if she identifies herself publicly, she's going outside the Navy. It's like she's saying that the Navy failed her.
Paul, the Navy has already failed her. They should get someone else in. It's obvious that the Navy cannot investigate itself.
Paula, I'm thinking of you. The Navy's like a family. If you step outside, you may not be able to get back in.
Nothing's gonna happen until they put a face to the assault.
If you go public, you'll be finished with the Navy.
I don't believe that.
Then you're naive. You'll lose everything that you work for.
Well, nothing else seems to be working.
Paula, you know how I feel about you, but this thing's gonna get very hot for both of us.
Well, if you can't stand the heat.
No, I didn't say that.
No, you didn't. I'll see you, Rocket.
Paula, take it from me. You go public with this, the media will turn you into a commodity. Feminists will turn you into an icon, and your life will go to hell. Okay? What do your parents say? Your friends?
Most every man I spoke to says I shouldn't. And most of the women I spoke to said I should.
And your boyfriend? So you want me to break the tie? Frankly, Paul, I'm surprised you're asking me.
I ran out of friends.
I was so much like you when I first came here. I had the same dream, same ambitions. And then I had this boss. He was a great guy. I thought he was a great guy. Till he stuck his hands up my skirt. I was expected to keep quiet, and I did. Kept quiet every time an officer came on to me. I kept quiet because that's what I thought I had to do to survive. And then you came along and said you weren't going to take it. Like I didn't have to. All this time. So do it, Paula. Do it. And do it for me, too.
5, 4, 2. Good evening. We're going to begin tonight by putting a human face on the worst case of sexual harassment in the Navy's history. The worst case? Because as many as 70 naval officers are suspected of being involved. And because the top senior officers in the Navy knew that sexual abuse was a ritual at an annual naval aviators get-together called the Tailhook Convention. And because, until one woman came forward and said enough, there was a very good chance that it was going to be covered up.
I love the Navy, and the Navy's my life. I'm 30 years old, and I'm not married. I'm in the Navy. That's my family.
No other women in the Navy have come forward because they are, in many cases, afraid for their careers.
My message is, don't tolerate it. No woman should be ashamed to come forward and say she's been wronged.
But Lieutenant Coughlin is still outraged because she was attacked by her peers.
The officers that attacked me knew I was an aide, and it was a sport to them. And I just want them to know that I'm an officer like them, and I'm also a woman. I'm like their sister. So it's not just a sexual assault. It's me.
Tomorrow, what happened when Lieutenant Coughlin told her boss? And what did the Secretary of the Navy know?
Let's hear it for the gauntlets!
development in Washington today, capping 3 days of speculation. The Secretary of the Navy, Lawrence Garrett, is expected to tender his resignation. Beltway speculation has already begun as to who Garrett's replacement might be, as Tailhook claims its highest victim.
The tradition of our Navy mandates that senior officials bear the ultimate responsibility for their command. Consequently, I accept responsibility and hold myself fully accountable for the leadership failure which allowed the egregious conduct at Tailhook to occur. I want you to know, contrary to what has so maliciously been suggested in the media, I neither saw nor engaged in any offensive conduct.
Mr. Garrett, how many more resignations can we expect? Is it true the Department of Defense is going to take over the investigation?
Champagne with my congratulations.
So wrong. Garrett taking the rap for a bunch of sleazy guys.
Paula, Garrett had to resign. At least he had the guts to accept responsibility for what happened on his watch. If you ask me, I think they should all resign. Flag admirals, squadron commanders who hosted the parties. Paula, the DOD's taking over. They're going to start a new investigation. It is a whole new ballgame now, and they are going to go after these guys with a vengeance.
Yeah, well, at least I'm getting transferred out of here.
Good thing, too. You should see the reporters out there waiting to ambush you.
Marley, I'm getting back in the air. They're gonna let me fly again.
Can't tell you how glad I am to be here, sir. Really excited about training on the CH-53 Sea Stallion.
Lieutenant, the DOD has begun a new investigation into Tailhook, and until they're done, I'm afraid you're grounded.
Sir, can I have it straight? Is this meant as a punishment?
No, Lieutenant. Your emotional stress is too high for your own safety. This is policy. Surely you understand.
Hey, mind if I join you?
Careful, whatever I've got, it's contagious.
Yeah, well, it's catching. Paula, I've been wanting to say this for a long time. The gauntlet? You weren't the only officer. It happened to me, too. Tailhook 86.
You didn't tell anyone.
My attitude? Not a good idea to remind anyone you're a woman. Not when you're wearing a flight suit. It's you and what you're doing. Although what you're doing takes guts. A lot more than I ever had. I thought it took guts to fly. All I ever wanted was to be part of this Navy. No matter what it cost me. Maybe it cost me too much. You think we'll ever get to fly in combat?
Someday, maybe. Maybe someday the boys will want to have lunch with us. Lieutenant Coughlin. Hi. I'm Lisa Marshak, Department of Defense.
Marshal Graham, hi.
So this is starting up all over again.
With a difference, we're gonna get these guys.
We've already carried out interviews with hundreds of aviators. We're getting somewhere.
Yeah, I've been there, and it didn't work the last time.
Lieutenant, we're Department of Defense. We don't take any crap. You should have seen us in action.
I'm not answering anything until I see some ID. I got nothing to say to you. This is crap. Political garbage. You're treating us worse than some dirtbag who's selling crack to kids. You're just out to screw us. To hell with our rights.
You finished? Okay. Pal of yours saw you on the 3rd floor the night of the parties at the hotel. A pal of yours said you were having a fun time in the gauntlet.
Who else was there? Names. We want names.
We won the Gulf War. We don't have to take this. We're heroes.
Lieutenant, let's take it easy here.
Is this good cop, bad cop? Well, I know my rights, Fifth Amendment. I don't have to say a word.
You admitted you were on the 3rd deck, so don't tell me you didn't get into some serious partying.
Oh, looks like a serious party animal to me.
Cut the crap. I saw it.
What? What? What did you see, Stick?
Your friends already talked. They gave us your name.
You want to know what I saw?
Fun bunch of guys.
Yeah. And the party's over.
They were taken by an old friend of yours, Stick.
Stick?
This is a statement about what he saw that night.
I heard some noise, and I walked down the hall, and they were putting somebody through something, and I looked, and it was Paula. And I tried to help her, and she, you know, I reached for her, and it got pulled away, you know. I tried to break free, and you guys are kind of big guys, you know, but I don't know, maybe I could have tried a little, you know, I could have tried a little harder. Paula, you know, she was a friend of mine. She's a shipmate, and I did not come through for her.
We were shipmates.
Unfortunately, none of the shots are from the gauntlet, but they did provide us with interesting opportunities.
You stated previously that you didn't see or participate in any offensive acts at Tailhook?
So I did.
Okay. Is that your picture?
Uh-huh.
Are these your genitals?
Well, so they are.
Well, I think we got you by him, Lieutenant. Let's get real.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't the only one. Oh, it was packed. Hundreds. Guys. Officers. Women. Hey, are you, gonna go after them like you're going after us, the women officers? You wanna get real? Paula Coughlin. Yeah, a lieutenant. Paula Coughlin.
So what did they say about me?
You were seen in uniform having your legs shaved. You let senior officers drink tequila out of your navel. You were seen swapping sexual favors for squadron t-shirts.
Well, you know how I love t-shirts. I'm surprised they didn't say my skirt was too short.
They did. You were seen in the rowdiest party suites.
I deny all of this. I mean, it's disgusting that I should have to.
I know. Denying won't be enough. We need to hear it from you. Everything that happened in the gauntlet that night. As you experienced it. Can you do that for us?
Yeah. Let's retrace your movements on Saturday, September 7th, 1991.
I had breakfast, linked up with my admiral, made sure his schedule was in order, went to the flag panel.
The flag panel?
It's an open forum for junior officers to question high-ranking Navy brass. It seemed to set the tone for the day. Couldn't believe the hostility in that room.
And after the flag panel?
There was a formal dinner, and everyone was talking about these great parties up on the third deck. So afterwards, I went up with some buddies, Boomer and Hawk. And when we got to the third deck, I realized I was way overdressed. Everyone was casual in shorts, and I didn't want to stick out.
Admiral Dunleavy originally stated to NIS that he saw nothing improper that night.
What's the point? What is the point of going over and over this? How am I supposed to defend myself against some bull accusations if no one saw anything?
Actually, someone did see something.
You understand the terms of the immunity agreement?
Yeah, it means I could talk my head off and no consequences.
We want full disclosure, Lieutenant. Details, names.
It'd be a pleasure.
Oh, I got you! Welcome to the party.
Well, thank you. Hey, you guys, I'm gonna go back to my hotel and change.
Clear deck!
So are you guys like Tough Guns?
Hey, where'd she go, girl?
Hey, don't go on here. Don't go on the third floor. It's too crazy here, okay? Go, go! What the hell are you doing, man? What the hell are you doing? You got that? Someone's gonna get hurt. Yeah, man, you! Get out of here! Come on! Get going!
So, been a pleasure. Get back out of here.
It's at about this point we figure you came up on the elevator.
Nobody warned you? You had no idea what was going on up here?
Nobody warned me.
Admiral Dunleavy stated that no woman would have gone down that hall if she didn't like it.
Right. And when our most senior aviator thinks that, it means, hey, guys, go for it. Free fire zone.
Clear deck!
Lieutenant Paula Coughlin, the whistleblower in the Tailhook scandal, has come to this Marine Corps courthouse today seeking justice. The Article 32 investigative hearing will judge whether Marine Captain Grant J. Talmadge will be charged with sexual assault and court-martialed. This is the first of many charges expected in the wake of the Department of Defense report issued 2 weeks ago.
Lieutenant Coughlin, can you tell the court how you previously described your attacker?
I described him as very fit, handsome, wide-set eyes. That's how I've been able to identify him.
Can you please point to him and state his name?
Captain Talmadge.
Do you recall picking out a photo of your assailant from an NIS photo lineup?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you recall subsequently learning you picked the wrong person?
Yes.
Did you have an opportunity to observe what your assailant was wearing on that night?
Shorts. And a short, sleek shirt.
What color was the shirt?
Burnt orange is what I recollect.
Sir, can I approach the witness? Would you say that this is the shirt worn by your assailant?
No.
Would you say this is your attacker?
Not convinced it's him.
Just to be sure, Captain Talmadge, this is you in the photograph.
Yes, this is me.
And in this photograph, which we've stipulated was taken the evening of September 7th, 1991, is this the shirt you were wearing?
Yes, it is.
Did you wear anything else that night other than that clothing?
No, ma'am, I did not.
Thank you, Captain Talmadge. We would now like to call Lieutenant Landon Simmons. Let me remind you, Lieutenant Simmons, you're still under oath?
Yes, ma'am.
You've been granted immunity from prosecution. Therefore, you have no reason to tell anything but the truth, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Lieutenant, you stated that you were an active participant in the gauntlet.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recall seeing Captain Talmadge attack Lieutenant Coughlin?
No, ma'am, I did not.
Did you see Captain Talmadge in the gauntlet itself?
No, ma'am, I did not.
What about in the vicinity of the gauntlet?
No, ma'am.
Did you happen to see Lieutenant Coughlin's attacker?
There were a lot of guys in the gauntlet. But I do recall seeing her being kind of roughly handled by one particular officer.
And was that officer Captain Talmadge?
No, ma'am. He was shorter.
No human being deserves to be held over the barbecue like this, especially this fine young man, who's uniformly respected, God-fearing, religious, and very respectful of women.
I don't really feel bitter towards Lieutenant Coughlin. It's really a tragedy for everyone, and whoever did this to her got off scot-free. But she's mistaken. I never touched her.
But would you go back to Tailhook, Captain?
I didn't participate in anything wrong or immoral at the last one. So I don't see why I shouldn't. The best and the brightest people in this country are there.
Yeah, and you can go tell Pat Schroeder and her girls that they can go kiss my tail hook. You have never been to war. And until you are a warrior, you can never be equal. I am proud to be a naval aviator. And to those of you who now serve, you keep me proud.
Isn't anyone going to pay for this?
Someone will pay. They're going to have more hearings.
Yeah, well, I just heard the junior officers are claiming they aren't accountable.
If they aren't accountable, who is?
They say the superior officers condoned the excesses at Tailhook by not stopping them. I hate to admit it, but it's a very smart defense.
How can you condone something you don't see?
Tailhook was crawling with hookers and strippers. Some of them performing public sex acts.
Yeah, maybe not the exact same hospitality suite, but next door.
And the brass and Kelso stayed on the patio.
Mm-hmm. So they condoned what went on there by not noticing it, by not being outraged by it, by not seeing it.
Admiral Kelso, how's the investigation going? A source inside the Navy, sir. Admiral Kelso, do you have a response to the allegations about your behavior?
I categorically deny any wrongdoing. I was not in any of the hospitality suites at Tailhook, and I did not see any misconduct.
Are you going to resign, sir?
No, I'm not going to resign. I'm committed to providing a workplace free of harassment. It's a problem we have, and I'm staying to fix the problem.
But Admiral Kelso...
We can't undo what's past, but we can certainly influence the future. I think we've emerged from this experience a better and more effective and stronger institution.
Frank Kelso has a record of unusual and positive activism in the Navy. He respects everyone, and he doesn't deserve to be tarnished in any way. Next question.
I'm an old submariner, Barbara. Maybe I was underwater too long. When I finally surfaced, the world had changed.
Frank, there is so much that you've done for this Navy.
Well, whatever it is I've done, what I'll be remembered for is Tailhook.
You know, if you ask anyone about Frank Kelso, what you hear is, now there's an officer who always put his men first. And now you're giving women an honest shot, too.
You know, when you finally make Admiral, you can always count on the parking space, but they don't always tell you the truth.
Frank, you can't be held responsible for every action of every man and woman in a blue uniform.
Oh, yes, I can. That's my job. That's why I'm here. One thing still bothers me, though. I was at that flag panel at Tailhook, and I saw a young female lieutenant being heckled by a whole room full of male officers just because she asked for equality. And I did nothing. Not a damn thing.
Paula. Hey, how you feel?
I feel like you're side one.
My side.
Get off it, Lieutenant.
Paula, I
know. I know you were there.
Lieutenant, your chopper's ready.
Have a good flight.
Paula. I'm sorry.
So am I.
Paula.
You miss it, Dad?
Yeah, I do. What about you?
Yeah. I still get goosebumps thinking about it.
Me too.
Look what those goosebumps of yours led to.
I don't know, Daddy. What did they lead to?
You changed the Navy. Irrevocably, no doubt about it.
What do you mean?
You forced them to examine their attitude about women in the military. Think about it. Everyone in the Navy's undergoing sex sensitivity training now. Hopefully learning what's acceptable behavior and what isn't. Imagine all those jet jocks and Marines learning that. That's got to be a sight to see.
I wanted to fly in combat. I wanted to earn my stars. Now I know I never will. I feel like I was on this battlefield. I got bloody, lost all my friends. Where's the victory?
Listen to me. A warrior doesn't pick his battles. A warrior's told what his battlefield will be, and where he'll fight, and where she'll fight. You are a warrior. And you fought the battle that fate handed you. From that battle, Lieutenant, you emerged victorious.